Hey guys, it's your girl, attorney Simone Redwine.
Come and
Your
say
legal
something
bestie.
outside
Oops,
of just
pause that. It's your legal bestie, attorney Simone. And today, of course, we will be talking Diddy, all things Diddy. We got a Diddy update, and here's what we've got on the docket. I'm gonna let you guys come on in here. I know it's been a minute since we've seen each other. I've been out of town. I was enjoying my best life. Plus, it was the first of the month, y'all, so I needed a little break. I missed you. I have missed you. Thank you so much for tagging me on Instagram in the different stories that you wanted me to cover. I really appreciate that. That helps me tailor what I'm talking about. Here we go. But yes, I missed you guys profusely. Hit that like button when y'all come on in. Hey, y'all. I beat the shit in from St. Louis. Where y'all tuning in? Yay. Crystal, it's your first time catching me live. I'm so glad that you did. I've really missed y'all. Like, that was like way too long. I think it was the 30th, September 30th was the last time I was on, which is like last Monday. Anyway, I needed the break, but I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Also, for my legal besties that are international, I'm going to be in Dubai next month. So if you guys have any suggestions of where I should go, who I should see, I don't know if you got any like cousins, homeboys, and uncles over there that are single, let them know your girl's on her way. All right, we're going to get into it. Here's what we've got on the docket. We've got Jaguar Wright lies on Jay-Z and Beyonce. Perhaps, maybe not. We've got settlements starting allegedly in the Diddy case already. We've got everyone keeps asking me to please comment on attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd's brokering the deal for this little Diddy porn video, as well as a Diddy accuser potentially has a $3 million lie. And lastly, and I didn't put this up there because I was running out of space. Lastly, I want to make sure that I hit on, and I don't want to forget, the judge in the Diddy case basically stepped down and passed it off so that there have been basically two other judges. Now we have a new judge. And so people wanted to hear some commentary on that and had some questions. Now, make sure you hit that like as you're joining. Hit that subscribe if you have not already. Miss Erica, girl, I've been living my best life. I went on a really nice date. He and my boyfriend or nothing, but y'all had fun. I had a lot of fun. That's why I need to stop telling my business. Okay, I'm going to work on that. Just not today. So that's why I'm going. Anyway. All right, so first up, Jaguar Wright. Now, for those of you guys who love a good conspiracy theory, you might be a big fan of Jaguar. But we all know one thing everybody can say and agree on is Jaguar is a little kooky, a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? She may have some truth in there, but there's also a little she don't always take her medication. And that is actually true. I'm not making fun of people with mental health issues. She literally, they had to do a hold on her at one point, I think a year ago or so, where she wasn't taking her medication and one of her loved ones had to call and get a pulled on in there. But she actually she was on the Piers Morgan show. And I'm going to give you a clip of what she said and then why it got Piers Morgan in big trouble. And we are actually going to loop this is going to be related to the Kim Porter fake book, and how that book got taken down from Amazon. So here's a clip. We'll start here. Let's see.
A response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice.
She's talking about Jay-Z.
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot of
cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world.
All right. So basically, she made these comments about how Jay-Z and Beyonce are behind all of this, that other people are being held accountable, but not them. Baby, let me tell you something. Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorneys picked up that phone so gosh darn quick, called Piers Morgan's show. Now, in the show, Piers says, well, Jay-Z and Beyonce are not here to defend themselves. Well, of course, they're not going to be on this show. They're not going to be over here with this foolishness, right? But their attorneys called and made a statement. And what happens when you're a media outlet, you have to give the other side the opportunity to defend themselves to defend themselves or say their piece, right? So that's why Piers on air was like, oh, they're not here to defend themselves. He thought that was going to be enough. Nope. Them attorneys said, you better take that down. So not only did Piers then go up there and make a statement. So today's episode, he went on there and made a statement, or was it last night? Well, either one. It said, We have been in touch with Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorneys. They adamantly deny these claims and any association or correlation with this. And then Pierce went on to say, we apologize. We are sorry. And we are removing that video from their website. So that's why I had to go to this other site, Coolin TV. Thank you, Coolin TV. And I'll put a link to their full video. I had to go to theirs to get this clip, y'all, because Beyonce and Jay-Z's lawyers done shook this man up and his channel so bad that they said, oh, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir, master. Now, when I was a law student, when I was in law school, I was an intern at Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorney's law firm. She was a white woman. She went to Cornell, actually, as well. My law school, Cornell Law. But so I just say that to say, yeah, they're not playing around. Oh, thank you, H2L, says Attorney Simone. Nobody gives legal tea like our bestie. Thanks for gracing us. Thank you so much. Wait, somebody said they thought, hold on. This was Miss Walker said, good to see you back. I thought Diddy tried to silence your channel. You know what? Thank you so much. Others are absolutely trying. And with that note, as I speak to that, don't forget, you can schedule a consultation with me. This is my website, SimoneRedwine.com. Just go to book or hire Attorney Simone. And consultations, they start at just $149. But you can also come on back up. You can get my book, Background Checks 101, The Beginner's Guide to Finding Out Who the Heck You're Really Dealing With, for only $19.99. All right, so we'll move that. But listen, I also want to be very clear. Okay, so this also correlates. So how Jay-Z and Beyonce's lawyers picked up that phone and got this segment of this episode, that was talking bad about them removed. What did I tell you was going to happen with that raggedy Kim Porter book that was full of bull honky? Okay, it was full of crap. I took so some of the viewers had asked me. I did a prior video. You can go to my Diddy playlist. It should be there, on the Kim Porter book and my thoughts. And I'm actually going to do an update on, because that man just really pissed me off after his Art of the Dialogue interview, the Chris guy who wrote it. But I had told you guys, when people are like, oh, do you think Jay-Z or Beyonce or any of these celebs referenced in there? Beyonce wasn't referenced, but do I think any of them were going to file for a defamation lawsuit against the author? And I said, no, I think they're going to work behind the scenes to get the book taken down. And what happened? What did they do? Exactly that. Here's how the book got taken down. And here's why the family can still recover big time without even necessarily having to file a lawsuit. So what happened was different people that were mentioned in the book, their lawyers reached out to Amazon's legal department and said, this book is defamation. It's also it's considered libel. Libel is when it's written. Slander is when it's spoken. They said, this is libel. This is this, that, and the third. And now that you've been put on notice, Amazon, if you keep selling the book, we gonna sue you too. Because who does everybody want? Everybody wants to get to the big pockets. Amazon is the big pocket. So that was a way that they were able to, anybody that was referenced negatively in that book, hey, MD, thank you for being a new member. Anybody referenced in that book was able to get it taken down by Amazon. They haven't filed a document in court. Now, I'll be sure it said his people have sent that old janky man, that Chris Todd is his alias. They sent that janky man a cease and desist. But remember, a cease and desist is not a legal document. It's simply a request to basically keep my name out your mouth. A cease and desist letter is a keep my name out your mouth letter. That's all it is. You can choose to keep their name out your mouth or no. Chris Todd chose to run those numbers up. He said he had over 1 million gross sales. Okay, 1 million. I think he said $1 million in sales. I don't think 1 million copies of it were sold. But either way, here's the other thing that happens. With Amazon, how long is their return policy? 30 days. So what happens is whenever you have a product on there like that, there's a 30-day wait window. I think for books, I think the first window is actually 60 days for you to get your coins. So what happens is for all of us who got that book and saw what kind of bull honking it was, and we're like, this is garbage. Baby, they refunded all of us our money back and didn't even require you to return it. That's what kind of trash it was. Leslie Gomez said he's already made millions. What I'm saying is, I don't know what that's from, but if it's from the Amazon money, I don't believe he has received a check from Amazon yet. And this is what I'm explaining. See, Amazon doesn't clear. They're not going to give you a check after a week of book sales. They're not going to give it to you after 2. And they're not going to give it to you after 30 days because they have to give time for your account to reconcile. So my point is this. If I were attorneys for Albie Shore and for the family, I would send over to Amazon both the cease and desist and a letter asking that they hold in the account all the funds that old boy made from this book and either give those to the family or wait, don't distribute them. And we're going to file suit. And in that lawsuit, I'm taking every last coin of yours because it's always easier to collect the money from the pot that it's in, right? The account that it's in, then wait, let it go to old boy's bank account because you're never going to see a dime of that. That man is a crook. That man is a crook. Thank you, Mickey Love. Amazon always waits 60 days before you send you the money. See, this is why I love my jurors. So you guys, my subscribers, y'all are my jurors. So if you're not a subscriber yet, this is the day to do it. Exactly, Mickey Love. So thank you for that. Exactly. So what I'm saying is this book came out, I want to in September. Today is only October 7th. It was actually like September 18th or 20th, around that time, that people could start purchasing their book and that the book would start and deliver. So I'm saying that to say that man ain't seen a dime and he shouldn't. And if I was the family, I would file whatever literally, they could pick up the phone with Amazon because it was the #1 bestseller and say to Amazon, what do y'all need from me to hold this money from them? Because Amazon might just hold it. I represented a client who had made an app on Apple and someone else was claiming copyright infringement. So what Apple did was they just held all the money from those app sales. They just kept it in the account. They didn't disperse it anywhere. So I say that to say, yeah, if you're ever in that kind of a lawsuit, that's what you can do. And I believe that's what the family is doing here. Kansas said, I was not paying for that trash book. Candy said she got her money back. I got my money back too. I got the whole book, read the book, and still got my money back. Actually, I got my money back too. I bought another one because I couldn't find mine for a minute. Got my money back for both of them. Yep. Call Noya. I agree with you. Amazon is not giving him that money. So here's the worst part. Can you imagine how it feels to think you're a millionaire? That's like winning a lottery ticket only for it to get jacked back because you stole it. God don't like ugly. And he sure don't like ugly on the backs of dead people who are not bothering nobody. They didn't do anything to you. I just want to know, of all the people, this man really came up here. Because remember, this guy, Chris Todd, has been sued a plethora of times for his, quote, investigative journalism, where he writes these conspiracy theory style books. He did one where he claimed to know who, what was that fool? Who O.J. Simpson's accomplice was, right? He did a memoir series. But here, this man, remember, in order to get Black people to buy the book, he used a Black pseudonym. He used the one that's related to Tupac, which is Jamal, and then he put T. Millwood, okay? He said, oh, it was an ode to Tupac. No. You did that because if you put your real name on there, and his real name isn't even Chris Todd, it's something Latino. If you put on there, everybody be like, who the hell is this man? How can know this man? And everyone would have the questions that we now have on the floor, which are, who are you and why are you lying? Sir, order in the court. Order in the court. All right, next up on the docket. Is settlements have started in the Diddy. Let me go. Let's go on over. Here we go. So allegedly, settlements. There we go. So allegedly, settlements have begun starting regarding the different Diddy claims and lawsuits. Now, this is just some of them. Hold on. Now, according to, here we are. Pull it back up. There you go. Now, this is according to Tony Busby, the attorney that came out last week and said he was representing 120 of the victims. So Sean Kemp's famous friends are allegedly settling with victims outside of court to ensure that they are not named in impending lawsuits, according to a Texas-based attorney representing over 100 accusers. Tony Busby told Fox News plans are in the works to sue several celebrities who allegedly helped the musician cover up abuse that occurred at the parties. Busby is planning to take legal action against a handful of A-list celebs on behalf of his clients, although the lawyer did not indicate who. Some celebs have already settled, he claimed. Is this surprising? Do y'all feel like this is a shakedown? Here's what I did not like. When Tony Busby came out and said that he said that he was going to be suing everybody. The wording that he used, and actually, I'm on.
Said last week at the news conference that you would begin filing lawsuits as early as this week. Do you have plans to do so? And do they involve celebrities? Do they involve just Diddy, people beyond Diddy?
I think I'll let the lawsuits speak for themselves. I don't expect there to be anything. Everyone's focused on what other celebrities were involved. Who's going to be named, who's going to be outed. I don't expect that to happen this week. I'm hoping to file some lawsuits this week. They of course will include Mr. Combs and some corporate entities. But we want to make sure that if we name individuals beyond Mr. Combs, that we make sure that we've done our homework, because it's going to create a firestorm. We understand that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's.
Tony, you said something interesting there. You said, I don't expect that to happen this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like there could be other people named, other famous people named down the road. I know you said this is going to be a process over the next 30 days of filing these lawsuits. So are you saying not this week, but maybe in the weeks coming after this one?
I would expect so. I really don't want to get into a situation where people are, if I don't file a lawsuit next week, then, there's that creates a media frenzy. The truth is, I want to be clear about something. If you were attending one of these parties, if you will, and you attended before, or you knew what was going to happen, that is, you knew that a particular drug was being used in drinks that was causing people to be coerced and taken advantage of, and you were there in the room, or you participated, or you watched it happen and didn't say anything, or you helped cover it up, in my view, you have a problem. And as we file each one of these cases, we're going to make an effort to resolve them on the front end. But failing that, we're going to file public lawsuits and pursue these cases aggressively.
All right, here's my issue. Participating, I get including famous people who participated in, like, if they mixed the drinks, if they assisted. But for somebody who just watched, I don't know about that. And the reason that I say that is because you don't know. We've been told that the way Diddy gets compliance is by having what we call compromise, or having embarrassing tapes of other people. So perhaps somebody didn't intervene and stop something because they themselves are under the coercion of Diddy. They're being threatened by Diddy. I don't like the premise that everybody is responsible for saving your particular client, or else I'm going to humiliate that person. I think that there can be two things can be true. You can both attend a party and yourself be a victim from the circumstances. So I think that it sounds like here he's trying to shake people down to keep them from being embarrassed. And that's really, really dangerous. So I would not be surprised if he shook down the wrong person and ended up with a bar complaint. I want to see some of these comments. Hit that like, y'all. It says that's better than dumb Michael Avanti shakedown. Yeah, that was pretty terrible. It says the celebrities that are settling are probably the ones that witnessed and said nothing. The ones that violated are unable to settle. Yeah, I would think witnessed, because of the fact that it looks terrible on their brand or on their image to have been there and not done anything about it, or even just to have been there at this point. Because just being there at this point has you associated with doing, gay stuff, butt stuff. You know the rumors that are now going on about Meek Mill simply because he was friends with Diddy. So I just don't like the fact that it sounds like this shakedown from famous people isn't necessarily. So what we're talking about right now, y'all, is the fact that attorney here, Tony Busby, is saying that he wasn't just suing Diddy. He's going to sue anyone else that was famous and in attendance. And I don't agree with that approach. I think it should be case by case. I think anyone who participated. So if, for example, if you're pouring drinks down girls' throats and you understand them to be laced, of course, you should be in big, big trouble. But for you to just be sitting back and watching people be drunk or, watching an orgy, I don't feel that it's fair to shake them down for money out of embarrassment. That's my take as it is now. I need to hear more facts for sure. There was a rumor that this attorney is allegedly working for Diddy, so he will know who's talking. No, absolutely not. No, this man is rich for real. He has a plane. He has so many assets. He would not ruin his career. He's made a lot of his millions in class action lawsuits. He wouldn't ruin that for Diddy. Diddy could not pay him enough to ruin his legacy. He even actually ran for mayor of Houston recently. So I say that to say all of that. Did they know exactly? Anika Alexander says, did they know that the drinks were laid? That is the question. Exactly. But it sounds like here what's happening is he's telling people, hey, I'm going to name you in this lawsuit if you don't give me money. And so then they give him the money and he doesn't name them as a defendant in the lawsuit. That is really dangerous. Mika says, do I think that's what he means, or he's referring to people who watched criminal acts? No, he's not saying criminal acts. He's saying if you were there. Now, watching criminal acts, even then, there's a level of like watching, observing where you could be considered an accomplice. I'm fine with that. So for example, if two people, like if 3 people walk up to a car and 2 of them carjack and that other friend stands there, he's considered a lookout. So I'm okay with something like that. If you're observing criminal behavior and maybe a girl is trying to leave and you see 2 other people aren't letting her leave and you don't help her to leave, absolutely. You could be considered an accomplice. And I think in that instance, you are one. So I need to know a little bit more about this. It's not sitting right. It says, yeah, what is it? Yeah, this lawyer has a fearsome rep. So they all are running scared and settling. Absolutely, Tex. Yep, you know that one. All right. So this was Busby. Now we're going to go on to Ariel Mitchell-Kidd. Now, attorney Ariel Mitchell is the attorney who has referenced brokering a deal for a porn video that features, we're going to pull this down, that features a celebrity that she said is even more high profile than Diddy. Now, we've had some guesses out there on who it could be. Is it Clive Davis? Is it, a variety of people? But I want to play this clip. Now, Ariel Mitchell-Kidd has represented a number of different people against music moguls. She's also represented men in the music industry. It wasn't Shorty Low. Maybe it was Shorty Low. It was, she represented, for example, a particular Atlanta rapper who was being accused of abusing his ex-girlfriend's son. Complete and total lie. She helped that man get vindicated. She's also representing, I believe it's 3 accusers of Trey Songz. Those lawsuits have been going on since 2021. None of them have settled yet. They're still going. They're still fighting, including one of Trey Songz's attorneys filed a motion for sanctions against her, claiming that she coerced a witness to basically file this claim and make these statements against Trey Songz. Again, this has been going on for over a year, that particular allegation, and she's fought it and filed motions all the way through. So she has not been found to be in any wrongdoing. I want to play this clip first of her referencing the Trey Songz case that she was with, and then I'm going to play a different clip.
2 are Jane Doe's. No, one is.
Here we go.
All a desperate and pathetic attempt to try to shift the narrative from what Trey Songz has continued. It's not just the people we know about. It's not just Keke Palmer. It's not just BB Rexa. I have 3 young ladies. I have 3 clients accusing Trey Songz of.
2 are Jane Doe's. No, one is
One
Dylan.
is a Jane Doe.
And one is Dylan
Jahara, and then the other one is Dylan Gonzalez.
Dylan Gonzalez. That's what.
All right. So that was her speaking on her Trey Songz case. And there was a lot of different changes and allegations that went through that. She also represented someone, as she referenced in there, against Chris Brown. Now, the Chris Brown accuser was straight up lying. When she found out that accuser was lying, she withdrew from that case. Also, recently, she withdrew from the case of there was a model that was suing Diddy. She withdrew from that case as well because basically the model story and different facts and things were not adding up, as well as I believe a portion of it was that model went on Tasha K and did a Tasha K interview. Look, baby, let me tell you something. If you're trying to sue somebody like Diddy, the last interview you probably need to do would be a blogger, especially Tasha K. Okay. Now I'm going to play this clip. This is her now talking about the current status of the videos that she's found in relation to this Diddy.
Own safety. But
we know that you've seen the footage. You talked about that last week when you were with us. So, you know, as you know who it is, and I know that you can't tell us who it is for all the reasons.
So what she's talking about is she has seen herself a video of Diddy and some other person. And Abby made a really good statement. It's Diddy and another person in a sexual video. And at one point, she stated she wasn't sure if the person was of age, as in 17 to 21 years old. Abby made a good point. She said, I think the other person in Puff's video is younger than him, because she said she wasn't sure if he was over 21. Great point. So this is her elaborating. I'm going to let her keep going.
Right. But as you know who it is, and as we're moving through this story, and it's starting to really feel like it's unraveling, and you feel bad for the person, and we don't even know who it is. Is there anything more you can tell us about that part of it?
I really do feel bad about the person. Part of the reason that I did come and say something outside of just to protect my own safety, but I wanted to sound the alarm, essentially bring the dog whistle, if you will, to that person that maybe they should do something about this before it came out. Mm-hmm. If I was them, I would do something about this. And the only way to do anything is to do the catch and kill. That's the only way to ensure that it doesn't come out. You know, we're taught that God helps those who helps themselves. So if we have a situation where that person does have the opportunity to purchase the video, if I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
Wow. Well, do you think this is going to surface publicly? I mean, are we getting close to that moment?
From what I'm hearing, I think so. I'm hearing whispers that there is at least one major network, possibly two, in a bidding war for that footage. So I believe we're sooner rather than later maybe finding out, unless that person comes and purchases the video themselves, which is really the goal of the people who have the video. They just, you know, at this point, if that person doesn't want to purchase it, then it's going to go on the open market.
Wow. You know, we know that you've seen the...
So here's my issue. What if this person didn't have money? What if they weren't rich? Then what? They're just supposed to be humiliated? It's no different than with Girls Gone Wild. I'm going to give you my understanding, and then I'm going to tell you why I feel like I must be flawed. I must be missing something. And together, we're going to see what happens, which is this. Remember with Girls Gone Wild, when those videos first came out, it was drunk girls at spring break, you know, showing people their titties, taking their tops off, all the above, right? And then it came out that a lot of those girls didn't give consent, or they didn't give consent, or they were too drunk to consent, all of that. And millions had to be paid out by the Girls Gone Wild people. Because they sold it to different entities, they put it on websites and things like that. Now, I've heard attorney Mitchell-Kidd state that she's brokering the deal in part because at this point, I'm assuming she's confirmed that the person must have been at age. Otherwise, it would be considered kiddie porn, right? However, the second thing is she made the statement that selling it isn't the issue. The person who purchases it is then responsible for however it's going to be used. I don't know if that's the case. Here's my concern. My concern is, how is this not considered extortion? It's a really, really fine line, okay? Because extortion is defined as the act of obtaining something of value from another person through the use of force, threats, or other unlawful means, okay? Examples are threatening to take civil or legal action against someone, which is not the case here. Extortion is a criminal offense in most states, and the severity of the charge is often based on the amount of money extorted. Now, my guess here is what they're going to say is that Attorney Mitchell would say, this is not extortion. We're not threatening anyone. We're not using any force. And we're not using unlawful means. We're simply informing them that this is your opportunity to prevent other people from getting access. But then there's also issues with, like, you have a right of privacy, right? People can't just take like, if I were to give my boyfriend which I don't have one, of course, a photo of my boobs, he can't make it into a billboard, right? So you can't take someone's private moment and profit from it. And I think that's the concern. That's the part. And now I wouldn't do it because it's too close to extortion, as well as you don't want to be in a situation where, you know, you're over here trying to help this client, because the clients that she's taking on, she's not charging them anything up front. She only gets paid when she gets a resolution for them. And that could be years down the line. We know with the Trey Songz case, that case was filed in 2021. It is now 3 years down the line. But yes, what you're talking about is revenge porn. This seems the issue is this. If the person who initially has the tape did not get permission to have the tape, then whoever is selling the tape can be in trouble. It's just like, that's why we have two different crimes, right? We have theft and receipt of stolen property. Okay. The person who stole the tape, who took the tape, is the thief. And the person who you sell it to would be receiving stolen property. So the thief, you know, gives property to someone else or sells it. That's receiving stolen property for that person that obtains it. So that's why I'm saying, and then when you're going on television, you're like, hey, we've got this video out here. It really drives the price up. So now you've got a second challenge. So I would not be surprised if whatever victim is on this video, and we're going to say victim because all discussions have implied that this person did not even know they were on video. So if someone's not knowing they're on video, then they can't consent to making the video, which means they certainly can't consent for it to be sold. Now, I think what she's implying when she says, if I were them, I would absolutely purchase it, she means take the issue off the market. Don't let anyone else do it. And now let me compare this situation to the catch and kill that was done with Donald Trump and the Stormy Daniels case. Y'all, the way my ADD mind is set up, I learn best through analogies. So without question, it was the National Enquirer. I could have had the magazine wrong, but it was a tabloid, U.S. tabloid, did a catch and kill for Donald Trump while he was running for president that first time around with the Stormy Daniels story. What they did was whoever had that story, they paid them on behalf of Trump, paid the millions for that evidence. So that story never made the light of day. But here's why it's distinct. It wasn't a sex tape. There was no titties. There was no titties involved. There was no bums. There was no bottoms. There was no privates. There was no intimate moments. It was simply a story with associated proof. Part of the proof was like the money that was wired to Stormy. She had proof of those things, all of that, right? And then they got an exclusive so someone paid Stormy and her team for the exclusive of that story and then just never ran that story. That is distinctly different than a titty video. Guys, it's not the same. And I think you guys understand that. Let me see these questions in the comments. How could it be legal? Baby, I'm trying to find that out right now. This channel is called Girl, Is That Legal? And girl, I don't see how this is legal. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And it says, how much is the attorney going to receive from this? So usually they would get, brokering a deal like this, usually around 30 to 40%. 30 to 40%. Revenge porn is usually like if it's like a relationship, but it seems to me same thing. At the end of the day, whoever got that tape didn't have permission to record that person who doesn't know that they're on tape. So I don't know how you could legally sell it. No, but this is what I'm telling you in my legal analysis. This is no affront to how she does her analysis. And it was her and her law partner. So they must have looked up some things that I'm not familiar with. Like I said, some aspects of the case. But one of her premises is that the issue of legality is on the onus of the person who purchases it and what they do with it. That's her position. From what I watched, she was saying, hey, the issue, because the news anchor has said, how is this legal? And she said, that is the question for the person who purchases it. But my argument is if you don't have permission to have it in the first place, I don't see it being any different than if someone steals my purse and sells it to you. You who knowingly bought a stolen purse, yes, you're in trouble, but I don't see how the person who picked the purse up, let's just say pick it up off the side of the road, I don't see how they're not also in trouble because they knew good and well it wasn't their purse to sell. If that makes sense. Yeah, it's like, uh-oh, here we go. Is that, yep. I understand why she would suggest that, but as someone who had already mentioned in the chat, copies could have been made. Absolutely. Cheryl says her decision to go public on such a large platform was a form of intimidation. It's alleged to involve Bieber and Diddy. That would make sense because I could see Bieber. Yeah, Bieber would be considered bigger than Diddy, like because the age groups that he attracts, the young girls, the old girls, all of it. A hump tape with no humping. Yes. If an accuser called me to take their case against Diddy, would I? Sure, I would. I mean, if I did my due diligence, of course, yes, I would. But I would need that. But I'm really big on managing expectations. So here's my thing. If you are going to go against Diddy, if I'm going to take your case, number one, you have to be willing to be a Jane Doe or John Doe if you're a guy. The reason I say that is I don't want nobody who's over here trying to do it for clout. One of the best ways to know that you're not is if you're willing to file in secrecy. The second reason I would want to file in secrecy, because a large part of the claim is going to be the mental distress that this situation has put upon you. So why in the hell would you add more mental distress to your life by filing publicly? Now, if they file, Diddy's people would file a motion to make me reveal your identity. That's one thing. But I don't want nobody coming here wanting, I want to do a speaker circuit. I want to talk to women about, that's nice. Use your Facebook for that. Go ahead. Turn on your little Instagram, go on your little TikTok, give your TikTok stories. That's not what this is for. And that's not what my time is for. Because the other issue with pursuing a case against Diddy is I won't be getting paid probably for another decade. And I have to put up all the costs. It's a contingency fee case. And we're all going to have to get in line one after another. And once we file that case, nothing's going to happen until after his criminal case is resolved. And I've explained that on the show before. The reason being, they always pause a civil case until the criminal is resolved because of the fact that you cannot force somebody to take a stand in a civil case when they also have a criminal case pending, because that testimony from the civil case could be used against them in the criminal case. Okay. All right. Next up, we're going to go. This is related but different. Y'all, we're going to talk about the judge in the Diddy case. Oh, here we go. Put this banner back on up. All right. Oh, no. So we'll talk about the judge, and then I cannot forget this Gloria Allred study, y'all, with this $3 million lie client, allegedly. So the judge in the Diddy case was replaced, okay? And what it is the case was reassigned. Now, some people, there are different conspiracy theories that are running around all over the place. And those are cute. Like I said, I like those conspiracy theories, but we're not crazy over here. Yeah. And by the time, they talk publicly, they can make statements to derail the case. That's true. Here's the thing. This with the judge, more than likely, the reason the judge was reassigned is docket control, y'all. I'm sorry I don't have anything sexy there. I'm sorry I don't have this fantastic conspiracy theory that some bloggers are going with. And those are all fun and dandy. But the truth of the matter is federal court cases, which this is, move slow as hell. They move slow as hell. But Diddy and his legal team are asking for a speedy trial, which means this bad boy better be ready to go within 72 days, but basically 6 months. Y'all, that's crazy. That's crazy fast. Including one of the statements that has been filed is that there's a protective order to be in place. Let me let you know, totally normal in famous cases, totally normal in cases that deal with these kind of allegations. And it's because it's going to be buku videos. And so this is to prevent those videos from being leaked to the public, especially leaked without blurring of identities and different things like that. Because part of the issue is they do not want to taint the jury pool. tainting the jury pool means putting so much facts out there that you can't get an unbiased jury. That people who watch the news regularly or go on social media will have already made an opinion because of all the evidence floating out there on the internet. Yes, someone says that the judge has a conflict of interest because his wife works at one of the banks that Diddy does business with. That if that was the case, that would have been disclosed in one of the ordered, and it's not. That would not create a conflict. Nope, wouldn't do it. But more likely it was a docket control issue, because what happens is these federal courts, they have for the next 6 months, they have their trial calendars laid out. The only way someone wouldn't is if for some reason they have a lower docket, they've got less going on. It could be a newer judge. It could be a variety of different things like that. So yeah. So more than likely they had to toss it to different judges, someone who would have, if it's 6 months, right? So this is September, October. Someone who has calendar availability in March, and it has to be specific to March. Why? That's the 6 month mark. Ain't no way they're going to be ready month 4. Ain't no way they're going to be ready in month like 5. Like, they really need that 6 month mark. And this trial is going to go on for months and months. So that more than likely is the real deal. Could a favor have been called in? Are we sure there's no back office tampering? No, a favor, not federal is different again, because federal judges are lifetime appointments. That doesn't happen. So I used to practice in that same court. I did intellectual property litigation, and it would happen frequently. Or if it would also happen if a judge has already dealt with a similar type of case. So if that judge is also hearing some of other Diddy's victims in civil cases, for example, because in federal court, judges handle both civil and criminal. So I'll have to check. But if that judge is also handling any of the other cases, it may have been almost consolidated to that judge. I don't believe that's the case here. But did he get a new legal team and try to get a new bail? Yes. So yes, he did. He has added to his legal team. He's changed that up. And he is trying to get a new bail. He's filed an appeal. Hit that like and that share button. Also, guys, don't forget. Oh, you can't see it. My Cash App is in the chat. If you want to tip the judge, it's MISS Redwine, Miss Redwine. So again, I'm doing a little more digging. There's one other theory that I had heard about that judge, possibly having a close relationship with someone. But before I reference it, and I want to talk about it one way or the other, I'm going to let you know about the facts. Could Diddy request a judge ruling instead of a jury? He sure can. Here's how that works. Everyone has a right to a trial by jury. The reason most people want a jury is because in federal court, all 12 of those people have to find you guilty, so you have a better shot. If one of the 12 says not guilty, it's a hung jury. They got to do it all over, right? Here's another fun fact. And I'm going to use the and then secondly, so he can always ask to be tried to the judge. Generally, the cases where you want that are going to be cases where the facts are very clear and the concern is that a jury would be too much on emotion. For example, I dealt with a case where it was a teenager playing with a gun with his best friend, and playing with the gun accidentally shot and killed his best friend. They chose to try that to the judge because they knew that judge was a lenient judge, a judge who believed in second chances, a judge that ran a lot of programs through her court for first-time offenders and those kind of things. And because they believed that judge, if that judge found him guilty, would find him guilty of a lower something rather than the jury, and that was the case. Yeah. So it just depends on what their view is of that judge versus the jury. Here we go. And then it has to be more. Yeah. Textfire says this is regarding the judge and why Diddy's judge recused themselves. And someone said it has to be more personal than a bank, like being his accountant or something like that, for it to be a conflict of interest. Correct. And also, if you're doing banking for Diddy's corporation, it's not close enough. Not even. Because there's so many different entities and stuff. No, if they're saying it's a corporation that is listed as one of the defendants, no. In this, or is listed as a witness or something like that, Perhaps, but it's highly unlikely. It's just more likely that it was a docket control matter. Now, lastly and finally, we got to talk about this Miss Gloria Allred, y'all. And the Diddy accuser there. Here we are. I'm going to put that one up. All right. So Gloria Allred's law firm represents this woman who calls herself, her name is Thalia Graves. We need to talk about this because I believe there's going to be many more of these that are coming about. So Miss Thing filed her little lawsuit. I reviewed it. This is the one where she was accusing both Diddy and his bodyguard. And the bodyguard was like, I didn't even work for him when that happened. No, this is one where I said, I don't think she has a shot because of the statute of limitations. This happened back in, I want to say 1999, but let me give you the backstory. So so the ex-boyfriend to Thalia has now come out to TMZ and said she's no victim, that she actually bribed him with $3 million to back up her story because her story was goofy from the beginning. Her fact that she was hanging on was that she was all upset because she did it to Diddy and the manager. I mean, Diddy and the security guard. And without her knowing, he made a video of it and then showed the video to her boyfriend. So the claim is that same boyfriend, she now recently, I think it was back in November, offered him $3 million. Here's what TMZ is saying. Diddy's latest accuser, who's suing him for allegedly R-ing her and recording it, tried to get her now ex-boyfriend to corroborate her claim by paying him 7 figures. TMZ has learned Thalia Graves is suing Diddy and his head of security, Joseph Sherman, for allegedly hurting her back in 2001. In the suit, she says she was dating one of Diddy's employees who was shown a video of the alleged incident. Remember, one of Diddy's employees who was shown a video of the alleged incident. However, TMZ has seen a November 2023 text exchange between Thalia and the man who was her boyfriend. And in it, she reveals she's planning to sue Diddy, quote, because he's the one that has the money. Mind you, November 2023 is when Cassie filed her lawsuit. She filed it November between 16th and 18th, and it was settled 24 hours later. It also appears that Thalia offers to give the boyfriend $3 million if he agrees to back her version of the alleged events. After asking him to attest that he's seen the alleged video of the incident, the actual text reads, "What do you need? 3 mil? This dummy." We've actually spoken to Thalia's ex, who's confirmed the validity of the text messages and told us he interpreted it to be an attempted bribe. After receiving the text, he says he blocked Thalia's number and also blocked her on social media. What's more, we're told Diddy's lawyers also have a copy of the same text we've reviewed between Thalia and her then ex-boyfriend. Thalia's attorney, Gloria Allred, tells TMZ it's very common that rich, powerful men and their supporters attempt to discredit, shame, and humiliate accusers who have the courage to come forward. The complaint speaks for itself. Our client is looking forward to her day in court. You'll recall that Gloria Allred and Graves held a news conference after filing the suit, which was incredibly emotional. Thalia sobbed and talked about the physical and mental trauma caused by the incident. Since the lawsuit was filed, Diddy's former security head claims he's never met her and was not working for Diddy at the time of the alleged assault. Y'all, what do you think? Do y'all believe him? What do y'all think? Here we go. That turns me remind me of the comedian lady from Def Jam comedy show. Oh my gosh. I mean, did Gloria Allred not thoroughly fact check this woman out before having a press conference? Here's my thing. You do not file a complaint claiming that part of the core of your case is built around the existence of a video that you haven't seen yourself as a lawyer. That's just really hard to do. Even if what you're counting on is someone else saying, yeah, I also saw this video when it happened. That better be your husband today, not no ex-boyfriend. What is to say that that person is going to still want to be honest? Money does talk. Money does talk, but so do text messages. So the question here is, I also want to know, did those texts exchange? How soon after Cassie's lawsuit and settlement did that come out? Now, if that happened before Cassie, then I'm wrong. We can talk differently. But that sounds crazy. $3 million. And my other thing is, this girl clearly don't know how these lawsuits work. Because, honey, how you know you even gonna have $3 million to give him after lawyers' fees are paid and everything else? Girl, you might not have $300 to give that man while you over here telling him this. What we'll have to stay tuned for is, are Diddy's attorneys going to go to law enforcement to try and file some type of a bribery or extortion claim or lawsuit? That's going to be the question. Now, he's locked up in jail, so he can't really go nowhere and file nothing. But he does have the right to use his attorneys to pursue. Absolutely, he could countersue. He could countersue for extortion. Absolutely. Inquirer said Gloria also seemed very slow during the press release. I doubt Gloria vetted this lady properly. She didn't look her best. It made Gloria look bad. I do hear you there. It says Gloria Alva's credibility is shaky sometimes. She says here, yeah, because let's see, there have been multiple cases where Gloria has represented someone and then the facts have come out and she's withdrawn. I think the most famous that people think of, or actually that might have been Lisa Bloom, was Tierra Marie with regards to the lawsuit involving 50 Cent. Now, that doesn't mean Tierra wasn't a victim. That lawsuit was an issue because of the way in which she didn't follow the instructions of the attorney. Why would she have to give him $3 million to testify if her case is credible? Well, that's the whole thing. The claim is that she was lying, and that's why she had to offer him the money to support her lie, including she said she's going after Diddy because that's who has the money. Does this lady really think that that's the only tape, child? Well, I don't know that there's a tape at all, Miss Leslie, because her whole claim is that her ex saw the tape, but the ex is claiming, I never saw this tape. She was trying to pay me $3 million to admit that the tape exists, and that wasn't the case. Yeah, for South of Houston, that's saying Lisa Bloom is who represented Tierra Marie. Lisa Bloom is the daughter of Gloria Allred, so that's the connection there. So I'm just saying, all of this is a real shit show, and it's making it difficult for the true victims, right? For the true victims that are there, because it's difficult for the true victims to be considered taken seriously when you got that. But it's also, at this point, I'm not taking any of these cases that don't have strong proof in my hands. You got to put this proof in my hands. I don't want to hear, well, there's a tape out there. Look, the feds got about 11. There are so many tapes that the current protective order that is being proposed states that Diddy should only be able to look at the videos at the courthouse. Here's the problem. That means he'll have to live at the courthouse, meaning he can't look at the tapes in the jailhouse. He's got to come over to the court to look at them. They said there are so many tapes, there's no way he could view them all in the 6 months time frame for the speedy trial. But every defendant is entitled to a speedy trial. So they're going to have to work out those kinks. I say that to say, all these people talking about a tape. Baby, you better have a copy. Otherwise, you're going to look like a liar. And Etha was saying, they're saying baby oil was laced with a clear liquid that would cause numbing. I believe it. I believe it. You don't need that much baby oil for nothing. There was something going on there. Absolutely. Heather, this is not a dumb question. I want to answer this question and we're going to wrap up. Heather says, I have a dumb. Can Tony, that's Tony Busby, the lawyer that's representing the 100-some victims, who also stated that he started already settling with some famous people. Can Tony accept a settlement and not name an attendee, but that attendee could be named by a different victim? Heck yes. Oh, I'm so glad you asked this. Then what, girl, is illegal? Baby, let me give you the legal tip. Many lawyers don't even know this. I was a baby lawyer who had just I took the New York bar in New Jersey together, same time. It was crazy. Then years later, I took Texas because you have to practice for like 5 years, but I actually wanted to know Texas law down pat since I'm from here. So I took the Texas bar. There was a question on the bar exam that involved the issue of basically a lawyer who had mollywopped, like I do, mollywopped a particular defendant a number of times. And so that defendant came to the lawyer and was like, hey, I'm not settling one more case with you unless you sign this document that says you'll never again represent a victim against our company. Well, and the lawyer signed that. And then the lawyer represented someone against them. And then they tried to file a lawsuit. The law is this in all of the states. You can never force a lawyer to not represent somebody. That's against the professional ethics. The reason being is the right to counsel is such a fundamental right that nobody can prevent someone from getting the best damn lawyer out there. So if I'm so good, if I literally win 100 lawsuits against Diddy, they can't prevent me from filing another one. Now, so that settlement, yes. So if, let's say it's Justin Bieber is in a video. No, let's say Neo, because he real freaky. So I bet Neo's going to be one of them things. So if Neo is in one video and you settle with Nia against Valerie Sims, right? But then there's another video that Neo is in with Aisha. And then you can still go get some more money from Neo from the Aisha video. Be like, well, which one? You want your dick over here? Your dick over here? We got all these dicks over here, Neo. Your dick is everywhere. And if you don't want your dick to make it to, the courtroom, pay up. So yes. So I hope that explains. Yes, I hope that. So thank you guys again for joining. Drop in the comments below what other topics you want me to cover this week. I'm back at it. I needed that little break. But thank you guys again. This is your legal bestie, Attorney Simone. And don't forget, you can hit that Cash App at MISS. Here we go. MISS Redwine, or go to my website, SimoneRedwine.com, to schedule a consult with your legal bestie. I do consults on topics across America. Someone had asked earlier, what are my practice areas? So my practice area currently is I do primarily car accidents, auto accidents, 18-wheeler accidents, but I've done a plethora. So I can do legal strategy literally on any kind. If I can't, I'll refund you your money before our consultation, but I do it everything from trust and estates to family law. So take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.